We're going to put the rudder on the Navigtor 3400, also known as the Cheyenne 3400. This is the rudder mount. You put the rudder mount on the motor mounts. You take the wing bolts that we provide, put it up through the motor mount fitting on the stern on one side, and the washer and the star knob, and spin it down to tighten it up. And then we do the same thing on the other side. And we're done mounting the rudder mount. I said motor mount. There you go, nice and firm. Then we take the rudder, and we're going to use the bottom two eyes. The bottom eye on the rudder goes on top of the bottom eye of the rudder mount. And then the rudder pin goes through all 5 eyes. 3 on the rudder and 2 on the rudder mount. And we are ready to go. Come in here for a close-up. And you can see this is an eye that's part of the rudder. This is an eye that's part of the rudder mount. The bottom eye on the rudder rests on top of the bottom eye of the rudder mount. And then you got this one on the rudder, this one on the rudder mount, and one more on the rudder. We have 2 steering configurations offered. The standard method is a steering oar, and I really like it. But we also have the center rudder, which I showed you in addition. And the center rudder is particularly good for kids and for adults who want a more traditional steering setup. So just quickly, here's how the steering oar setup works. You've got a crossbar. It bolts to the motor mount fittings on the transom with bolts that we provide, and then it's got an L bracket that stabilizes it from flopping forward by resting on the rear air chamber. The steering oar can be on the right side or the left side, or you can get a second steering oar and have it on both sides. Not that you would use 2 at once, but it's nice to be able to change hands without having to take the steering oar off one side and move it over to the other. This short strap goes between the oar pin clamp and the shaft of the oar, so it's right over this pivot bolt and under the shaft of the oar, and you just loop it under the crossbar and tighten it up, and that keeps the oar from popping out accidentally. But it's easily removed just by loosening it a little bit and taking it out like that. Okay, let's do the front assembly. The front assembly, you can see, is a U, side rail, front crossbar, another side rail. The side rails strap on at the oar lock. You can see the strap goes through the oar lock, but it's not going to get in the way of the oar if you want to row when the sail kit's on there. And then another strap goes here. It's going around the rope that's part of the boat. They call a grab line. It's going around it here, and it's also going around it behind the fitting. The front crossbar goes under the rope on each side, and then there's a medium length strap from the bow eye up to this eye on the mast step. And same thing on the other side. Now, I seem to have the optional snap-off leeboard mounts with me today. And so I'll show you how those go. This is the lee board mount, this right angle piece here. You want to make sure these knobs on top are tight because that's what locks the telescoping mechanism by which this inner piece slides into that one to adjust the length. Once you've got the right length, you want that locked good and tight, and that'll also hold your lee board straight. On the standard lee board mount, this knob is a bolt and it just screws in there, and that's what holds your lee boards on. If you want something that's a little more convenient so you don't have to stand there and twist and do the opposite thing at the end of the day, you can pay a little bit more and get our snap-off lee board mounts, just like that. And then this stub stays on there permanently and you put it away just like that. Snap off, snap on. It's a great thing. Another advantage with the snap-on lee board mounts or snap-off lee board mounts is that both the female thread and the male thread are stainless steel. Whereas on the standard lee board mount, you got a stainless steel male thread going into a aluminum thread female, and that's a little bit less robust. So if you want the very best, add those snap-on lee board mounts to your order as an upgrade. Doesn't cost very much. We're getting too much wind noise, so I'm going to switch to voiceover for this section. Here I'm going to show you how we raise the sail. The rope in my hand is called a halyard, and it's running through an eye at the top of the mast. I pull down on the free end of the halyard and that raises the sail. I may have to reach down and get the mast slide started up the mast, as you saw me do there just for a second. And I raise the sail all the way to the top of the mast, as far as it will go. And then I'm going to tie that halyard off right around the front crossbar. I'm going to wrap it around fully once or twice, and I've got the rope folded over, you can see. That makes it easier to tie. I'm sort of creating an end that's not really all the way down at the end. And I'm tying one half hitch and then another half hitch, so it's a double half hitch. Then this rope is called the downhaul, and it's adjustable length. After the sail is raised, I clip the downhaul to a ring nut at the base of the mast, and then I take the length adjustment and make it tight. Now we're going to take the camera off the tripod and come in for a close-up. You see I've raised the sail all the way to the top. The knot on the sail is right at the eye at the top of the mast. And here we're looking at the downhaul. Runs from the front of the boom down to the base of the mast. And there's a clip there to attach it to that ring nut. Make sure you get the sail right side up. This cleat should be on top of the boom. If you got it upside down, it would be underneath the boom. And let me show you how to rig the sheet. The sheet is the rope that controls the angle of the sail and that you hold in your hand when you're sailing. And we put a strap loop right here on the boom with this clamp-on rope fitting that's provided. And then just run the sheet right through that strap loop, giving you a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage. Now if the winds aren't very strong and you want to keep things simple, don't bother with the 2-to-1 mechanical advantage. You can run the sheet line right to the rope fitting or right to the strap. But if the winds are strong and you want to go easy on your hands, then do it this way and you'll get that mechanical advantage. This is a good little accessory you should consider. Extra cost accessory, but doesn't cost much. This is called the steering balance tuner. And it's just a little stub piece that mounts to the middle of the front crossbar in place of the mast step, and then the mast step mounts to it, allowing the mast to be moved farther forward. So if I was using that on this boat, it would mount right there. My crossbar would run through these U-bolts, and this mast step would be where this one is, or anywhere in between. And what that does is move the mast farther forward, reducing the amount of weather helm that you have. Now, you may not be familiar with the term weather helm. All sailboats are set up to have some amount of weather helm. Weather helm means some tendency for the boat to turn up into the wind. If you let go of the tiller, the boat will want to turn up into the wind. And when you're holding a straight course, you'll feel that tug on the tiller or the steering oar where you're resisting the boat wanting to turn up into the wind. Now, that's a good thing. It gives you stable handling, but too much weather helm is too much of a good thing, and it can tire your arm out, it can slow your boat down. And so we give you the steering balance tuner so that you can fine-tune the amount of weather helm that you'll have on your boat. You don't want to move it so far forward that you've got neutral helm or lee helm. Lee helm would be a tendency to turn downwind, which would make the boat very hard to control. Hey, thanks for watching. Please visit our website, sailboatstogo.com, and if you have questions, send me an email, jim@sailboatstogo.com.